The Galactic Arena stood as the ultimate symbol of interstellar dominance, a colossal structure orbiting a dying star. Here, species from across the galaxy competed to display their supremacy in battles of strength, intelligence, and skill. The crowds, a colorful blend of alien races, filled the air with an electrified anticipation, their many voices harmonizing into a low hum of judgment and expectation. Humanity, the newcomers to this vast community, was a reluctant participant. Having recently been granted entry into the galactic fold, Earth's representatives had no choice but to take part in the arena's brutal tournaments. It was tradition, a rite of passage that demanded blood, sweat, and humiliation. And humiliated they were. Earth's finest, a collection of scientists, athletes, and military tacticians, had been thoroughly dismantled in every category. Their advanced machines were crude compared to alien technology, their strategy simplistic against the centuries-old wisdom of interstellar tacticians. By the second day, humans were no longer considered contenders but comic relief. The Zarthul, a towering, warlike species with a reputation for dominance, were the loudest in their mockery. Their champion Vrelka sneered openly during Earth's matches, his laughter echoing through the arena. "Is this all your planet has to offer?" he bellowed, his voice amplified by his armor's voice modulator. The crowd roared with approval, fueling the Zarthul's confidence. Each loss chipped away at Earth's pride. The broadcasted failures became a spectacle across the galaxy, a running joke among the elite species. To the galaxy at large, Earth was a backward, primitive planet barely deserving of its seat at the table. And then came the announcement of the final event, a battle of stealth and precision, a challenge designed to test cunning, adaptability, and subtlety. The roster of competitors was intimidating. Species with bioluminescent camouflage, hunters from planets where silence meant survival, and assassins whose genetic engineering allowed them to phase through matter. Earth had no one on this level, or so it seemed. Moments before the deadline, Earth submitted its final contestant. The arena's lights dimmed, and whispers spread as a figure emerged onto the platform. Clad entirely in black, their face obscured by a sleek mask, the figure exuded an eerie calm. They carried no visible weaponry, no advanced armor, just a minimalist outfit that clung to their wiry frame. The crowd erupted into laughter. A shadow puppet, someone jeered. Others speculated that this was Earth's desperate attempt at showmanship, a futile act to avoid ending their participation in utter disgrace. Even the arena's announcer hesitated before introducing the competitor. But the figure stood unmoved, silent against the ridicule. The arena's floor shifted, revealing a sprawling labyrinth. Drones whirred to life, scanning for movement, while traps primed themselves for unsuspecting prey. The other competitors prepared themselves, adjusting armor and activating cloaking devices. The black-clad figure simply stood, waiting for the signal. The horn sounded. The arena plunged into chaos as the competitors scattered. Yet, even in the cacophony of movement, the ninja seemed to vanish. One moment they were visible, the next they had melted into the shadows, leaving behind only silence. The laughter faded as confusion took its place. The game had begun. The competitors moved through the labyrinth, each relying on their species' unique traits. The Mizarian glided effortlessly, their translucent body blending seamlessly into the environment. A pair of Vrelkan hunters stalked the corridors, their infrared vision piercing through the shadows. Every alien contestant brought some form of evolutionary advantage, a refined adaptation honed over millennia of survival. And then there was Earth's mysterious competitor. The figure in black was unseen by the cameras and drones, their presence as intangible as a ghost. While others relied on raw power or genetic modifications, the ninja moved with a purpose born of discipline and ancient knowledge. Each step was calculated, every motion deliberate. A drone, sleek and unrelenting, zipped through the air, its scanners searching for heat signatures. It rounded a corner where the ninja had been just moments before. But instead of finding its target, it encountered only an empty hallway. Above it, clinging silently to the ceiling, the ninja waited. With a swift motion, they dropped down, disabling the drone with a single precise strike to its core. The machine crumpled soundlessly to the floor. Elsewhere in the labyrinth, competitors triggered traps in their haste. A Zarkian, confident in its brute strength, smashed through a wall only to activate a pressure-sensitive plate. Razor-sharp projectiles erupted from the walls, forcing it to retreat. The ninja, however, moved as if the traps didn't exist, stepping lightly through the maze without hesitation. Their training allowed them to read the environment, sensing subtle changes in air pressure or minute irregularities in the ground. The arena's audience began to shift in their reactions. Where there had been laughter, there was now curiosity. The Zarthul champion, Vrelka, leaned forward in his seat, his smug grin replaced by a furrowed brow. "What are they doing?" he muttered, watching as one competitor after another was eliminated. Yet Earth's representative remained invisible to the cameras. In one corner of the labyrinth, two contestants crossed paths. Asterin, with its multifaceted eyes and swift reflexes, engaged in a brief skirmish with a crystalline Xyline. The clash was chaotic, loud, and brutal. Both were so focused on each other that they failed to notice the black-clad figure slipping past them, a shadow in their peripheral vision. By the time their battle concluded, the ninja was long gone. As the labyrinth thinned out its competitors, the ninja began to take a more active approach. They silently disarmed traps, leaving pathways safe for others to stumble into false security. They reprogrammed drones to turn on their former masters, creating chaos in their wake. Each move was subtle, efficient, and devastating. By the end of the challenge, only 3 competitors remained. The Zarthul hunters, heavily armed and confident in their superior technology, began to close in on their prey. But the ninja was not the hunted. They were the predator, waiting patiently in the darkness for the perfect moment to strike. The Zarthul hunters advanced methodically, their movements synchronized and calculated. Each step was accompanied by a sweep of their advanced scanning equipment, devices capable of detecting even the faintest disturbances in the air. They believed themselves invincible, their weapons primed to crush any opposition. Yet, despite their technology, they were uneasy. Their target remained unseen, unheard, a ghost in the labyrinth. One of the hunters paused, sensing something amiss. A faint sound, barely perceptible, caused it to raise its weapon. But before it could react, the ninja struck. Emerging from the shadows with precision, they moved faster than the hunter could process. A sharp motion, a quick disarm, and the hunter's weapon clattered to the ground. The ninja vanished once again, leaving the Zarthul to stumble back, disoriented and defenseless. The second hunter, alerted by the commotion, turned its scanning equipment toward the disturbance. But the ninja anticipated this. From above, they dropped a small, rudimentary device, an EMP crafted from components scavenged earlier in the maze. The device discharged, short-circuiting the hunter's equipment and plunging it into momentary darkness. In that brief window, the ninja closed the distance, neutralizing the second hunter with a precise, non-lethal blow. The arena erupted in murmurs. The Zarthul, who prided themselves on their prowess, were being dismantled without a single shot fired. Vrelka's face twisted in disbelief as he watched his species' elite warriors fall. "This isn't possible," he growled, his claws digging into the armrests of his seat. The final confrontation loomed. Vrelka himself entered the arena, his towering frame clad in reinforced armor, bristling with weapons and shields. He was more than a champion. He was a symbol of the Zarthul's dominance. As he strode into the labyrinth, the crowd roared, expecting an easy victory. But the ninja did not confront Vrelka head-on. Instead, they employed psychological warfare. Vrelka's scanners picked up fleeting movements. A shadow here, a whisper of motion there. He fired wildly into the darkness, his frustration mounting with each missed shot. The ninja used his overconfidence against him, manipulating his perceptions and drawing him deeper into the maze. Vrelka, now visibly enraged, activated his suit's thermal tracking systems, determined to end the game. But the ninja had prepared for this. Using the labyrinth's resources, they created heat decoys, leading Vrelka into a series of dead ends. Each misstep chipped away at his composure, his calculated demeanor giving way to recklessness. The final moment came when Vrelka found himself cornered in a narrow passage. His scanners detected nothing, and the silence was deafening. Suddenly, the ninja emerged, not with violence but with precision. They moved like water, bypassing Vrelka's defenses and disabling his armor systems with a series of targeted strikes. Disarmed and immobilized, Vrelka fell to his knees. The crowd, stunned into silence, watched as the ninja stood over the defeated champion. It was a victory achieved not through brute force but through strategy, skill, and the element of surprise. The arena, for the first time, erupted in applause for the lone human. Vrelka knelt in the dirt, his pride as shattered as his armor. The arena, moments ago alive with the thunderous confidence of alien spectators, had fallen into an uneasy silence. The Zarthul champion, a symbol of galactic supremacy, had been brought to his knees by a lone, faceless figure from a species they all deemed inferior. The ninja didn't move to gloat or celebrate. Instead, they stood with the same quiet confidence they had shown since the beginning, their posture almost meditative. Their presence exuded restraint, a sharp contrast to the violence that had characterized the arena's previous contests. Vrelka, gritting his teeth, raised his head to meet the gaze of his opponent. The crowd held its collective breath, expecting retaliation or some final act of defiance. But the ninja made no further move. Slowly, deliberately, they stepped back, signaling their intent. This wasn't about destruction or humiliation. It was about proving a point. Humanity, so underestimated, had earned its place in the galaxy not by mimicking the power of others but by mastering its own unique strengths. The announcer's voice broke the silence, trembling slightly as they declared Earth's representative the victor. A wave of disbelief rippled through the crowd, followed by a hesitant smattering of applause. It grew steadily, building into a roar that echoed through the vast arena. Even those who had mocked humanity earlier found themselves on their feet, compelled to acknowledge the skill and ingenuity they had just witnessed. Vrelka rose unsteadily to his feet. He glared at the ninja for a long moment, his pride clearly warring with a newfound respect. Finally, with a grunt of effort, he extended his arm in a gesture of acknowledgement. The ninja inclined their heads slightly before turning and walking away, disappearing once more into the shadows. The cameras followed their departure, but the figure vanished as they had entered, without a sound, leaving only questions in their wake. Who were they? What kind of training could produce such a flawless display of stealth and precision? The mystery only deepened the impact of their victory. Back in the galactic stands, conversations buzzed with speculation. Humanity, once ridiculed as backward and primitive, had demonstrated an edge no one had anticipated. The ninja's performance was more than just a victory. It was a statement about Earth's potential, a blend of ancient tradition and modern innovation that no other species could replicate. Even the Zarthul, begrudgingly, began to speak of the battle with a note of admiration. They didn't fight like us, one muttered. They fought like something else. The sentiment spread, forcing even the most skeptical observers to reconsider their assumptions about Earth. As the tournament concluded, Earth's name was no longer the subject of derision. It was whispered with curiosity, even respect. The ninja had given humanity more than a victory. They had secured a foothold in a galaxy that demanded strength and skill. And though their identity remained a mystery, one thing was certain. No one would ever underestimate Earth again.